While eating grilled corn, Richard suddenly spotted a business opportunity. He watched his son sweat from the spicy sauce, yet still happily took huge bites. He realized that everyone around him was obsessed with spice. He decided to make spicy chips and change his fate with them. He and his family bought various chili peppers and started experimenting. But the first batch was so spicy, it took people's breath away. Meanwhile, other factories had already used machines to extract capsaicin, doubling the spiciness. But Richard always believed that only natural ingredients could create the purest Mexican flavor. By constantly adjusting the ratios, he finally found the perfect combination of chili and chips.
Burns good or burns bad?
It burnt good.
The sauce experiment succeeded, but Richard was just a janitor. His ideas were ignored by the executives, and he was even mocked publicly. A janitor wants to make a product? So Richard called the Italian CEO and passionately pitched his spicy sauce. The CEO was intrigued and asked him to send some samples. He and his wife packed a large box of samples and carefully sent it to the CEO. When the CEO tasted the first chip, he couldn't stop eating and even called back without wiping his hands, saying he wanted to visit the factory personally. When the news arrived, the factory executives panicked. They publicly scolded Richard. If the CEO didn't approve the plan, the factory might go under and everyone would lose their jobs. Richard also began to doubt himself. Back home, he told his wife everything. She pulled him in front of the mirror and firmly said, "I chose you because I trust you. Don't underestimate your abilities." Afterward, his wife studied books with him, taught him how to sell a product, and helped him practice his speech. On the day the CEO arrived, Richard was still nervous, afraid he would mess everything up, especially when asked about market share. He couldn't answer at all, so he put down his script and introduced the product in his own way, using the simplest language, explaining how much ordinary people loved spicy food. His sincerity moved the CEO. The CEO immediately decided to invest in the product, but when Flamin' Hot Cheetos launched, the response was underwhelming. It quickly became a slow-selling item in supermarkets. The factory manager decided to stop production. Richard hit rock bottom again, until he realized the problem wasn't the product, it was that no one knew about it. His son took out all his pocket money to support him. Richard called old friends and asked them to help with guerrilla marketing. They began handing out free samples in the streets. He and his family even went into supermarkets and bought all the Flamin' Hot Cheetos off the shelves. When other customers looked over, he immediately enthusiastically recommended it. Soon, demand for Flamin' Hot Cheetos skyrocketed. A craze swept through the streets. The CEO immediately placed an order for 5 million units. The struggling factory started operating again. Fired workers returned overnight. The machines ran almost non-stop. 6 months later, the factory broke its sales record and returned to its peak size. But Richard was still a janitor. When he went upstairs to clean, he found the CEO waiting for him. In front of him, the CEO hung his nameplate on the office door. He became the marketing director. The entire company applauded him. Richard immediately called his wife. His dream had finally come true. He had risen from the very bottom to become a top executive.